Freeze! Who are you? What are you doing here?
Hold your fire! I'm a human!
Ooh. Sorry about that, babe. I thought you were one of them.
What's going on in this town?
Hold on. I ain't got no clue, darling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Resident Evil 2. So, dear viewers, this particular video game originally released in 1998. And just like that beautiful bearded bastard Barry Burton, you're probably wondering,
what is this?
Resident Evil 2 is a survival horror video game thingamajig, and a direct sequel to Resident Evil Numero Uno, also known as Resident Evil 1, also known as Resident Evil. And let me regale you with a tale, dear viewers, before we get into this review. Back in 1998, Resident Evil 2 was one of the very first games I remember being incredibly excited for. I remember purchasing and perusing gaming magazines. Yes, that's how we got our gaming news back then. Via magazines, demo discs, the television box. So I would literally consume each and every single article I read about Resident Evil 2. And yes, I did literally consume them. 'Twas the only way I could stop that idiot in the playground from stealing my magazines. But anyway, that's a story for another time. While I might have been too young to get excited in my underpants over this game, you can bet Uncle Rupert's third nipple that I was excited for this game nonetheless. And all of you Resident Evil fanboys and fangirls and fan farm animals will probably agree with me when I say the game did not disappoint. So, story. Like I even have to tell you about the story. Leon S. Kennedy, first day on the job. Claire Redfield, first day on her period. William Birkin, first day as an absolutely homicidal monster thingamajig. Mr. X, first day wearing his new leather trench coat. Raccoon City Police Department, and so on and so forth. So let's actually review this survival horror sequel thingamajig the only way I know how. Badly. And let's start with what I absolutely love about the original Resident Evil 2. This game carries over the survival horror gameplay of its predecessor, focusing on exploration, very simple puzzles, and of course, shooting zombies in the bloody head. And like most other things in this sequel, the gameplay is bigger and better than in the original Resident Evil, also known as Resident Evil 1, also known as Resident Evil Numero Uno. What's slightly different though, gameplay-wise with this sequel, is that it features branching paths, with both Claire and Leon having unique storylines, partners, and obstacles. So for example, in Leon's playthrough, you'll of course meet Ada Wong, a woman hotter than the surface of the bloody sun. Claire encounters Sherry Birkin. In the game's B scenario, as in the playthrough you will do after completing either character's A scenario, you'll encounter the very infamous Mr. X. Both scenarios have unique boss fights. In fact, the final boss in the A and B scenario are completely different. Not only that, but you're basically going to get 4 different playthroughs out of this game. So for example, if you play Leon first, you'll then play through Claire's B scenario. If you play as Claire first, you'll play through Leon's B scenario. And of course, each of these scenarios are slightly different to each other. Another thing I absolutely love about this game is its soundtrack. So much so that when I play the remake, which does have an admittedly great rearranged version of this soundtrack, I still find myself swapping over to the original soundtrack, which in my opinion might be the best Resident Evil soundtrack since, well, ever. If you enjoy the cheesy voice acting from the original game, you'll be very happy to hear that of course carries over into this entry. This game is also a little more action focused. There's more enemies, more boss fights. There's an exciting sequence on a train at the end of the B scenario. There's a fight against a giant crocodile. Or is it an alligator? No, I think it's a actually, doesn't matter. It's epic. Particularly in the way you get rid of the damn thing, which may or may not call back to a little known film called Jaws. There's explosions. There's a big bastard crashing through a wall. There's another big bastard who attacks you when you're descending into the underground laboratory under the streets of Raccoon City. It is epic. It is glorious. It makes me harder than imagining Lady Dimitrescu giving me a lap dance. Though now that I think about it, if Lady Dimitrescu was to sit on my lap, we would probably both crash through the floor. Speaking of Lady Dimitrescu, Resident Evil 2 of course features the introduction of several fan-favorite characters. Leon S. Kennedy, first day on the job. Claire Redfield, first day on her period. Chief Iron, Sherry Birkin, Ada Wong, of course. In a nutsack, in a lot of ways, this is essentially the perfect sequel. Bigger than its predecessor, better than its predecessor, more sex appeal than its predecessor. And while I might just slightly prefer the remake, this is still an absolutely fantastic Resident Evil game. So if some bizarre reason you've not played this, then rectum that right now. I mean, rectify that right now. You can play it on the PlayStation 1, the PlayStation 3 through backwards compatibility, the bloody GameCube, there's a version on the Nintendo 64, and of course it was re-released quite recently on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5. Therefore, I'm going to declare that Resident... Did I just say, therefore, I'm going to declare? Therefore, I'm going to declare Redfield that Resident Evil 2 is splendid. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, another review by yours truly. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Oh damn, I didn't even talk about the G-spot. I mean, the G-virus. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.